Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Haley from Bargain Bug, and today I'm going to be doing a what to bring to college video. So I wrote out a list here so I can keep myself in track, and I have lived in the freshman dorm room my freshman year, and then the other 3 years I've been in college, going on this year is going to be my fourth. I've lived in the on-campus apartments. So I've seen my fair share of videos, I've done my fair share of shopping, and I just know what I've enjoyed, and so I thought I would make a video. Hope it's helpful. So here we go. So my number one thing that I think that you should bring is a Keurig. So I personally am a major coffee drinker. I love coffee, and this saved me so much money. So I purchased the reusable K-cups, so I just bought my own coffee and refilled it, and then I kept my coffee creamer in my room, and it saved me so much money. The on-campus coffee shop was like just kind of like a Starbucks or a Dutch Bros or whatever, of like $5 a cup, and that's just so expensive. I would go occasionally. It was kind of like a treat yourself kind of thing for me, and even the dining hall had coffee, but I found that I liked my coffee anyways so much better, and my creamer, my choices, I definitely recommend it. If you are not a coffee drinker, maybe like an electric kettle if you do drink tea. Again, saves you money because you go to the on-campus and it's probably like $3 for a cup of tea. Whereas you have an electric kettle, you put your own water in it, and tea bags are so cheap. Like, honestly, cannot recommend enough. Bring a Keurig. It's gonna save you money. Number two is a Brita. I use my Brita to fill up my coffee maker all the time, and then I used it to fill up my water bottle. Me and my roommate, my freshman year roommate, we just switched off and brought it into the shared bathroom, and we kept filling it, and then had water in our room constantly. And then to kind of go along with that, a water bottle. I think water bottle is an absolutely essential. This is a 32-ounce Hydro Flask in the purple color, which I don't think they sell anymore. I've had this for years. But having a water bottle, so essential. Just fill it up with your Brita and you can bring it to class, bring it anywhere really. And I mean, there's no space in a mini fridge for those plastic water bottles, and honestly, we don't need to be buying those anymore. No plastic water bottles. Have your own reusable water bottle. So my next two things is a mini fridge and a microwave. And my biggest tip for these is to check with your roommate and check with your university. Do those things before you even think about buying these things. So first of all, check with your university. See if they provide them, if they rent them, if they provide them already in the room. My freshman year, they did not, but then I believe it was either last year or 2 years ago, they started providing them. And they provide like a microwave mini fridge like set in the room already. So you don't need to buy them. That's amazing. But if your university does not provide them, check with your roommate. I ended up checking with my roommate, and she brought the microwave and I brought the mini fridge. It worked out great. True story, there were two girls in my hall who both brought mini fridges and they didn't have a microwave. Took up so much space in their room, and they didn't have a microwave, so they had to like use others to make like a cup of ramen. Like, stupid. So have a mini fridge, share it with your roommate. You honestly don't buy a ton of groceries your freshman year. I stick to the dining hall, or I ate out mostly because there's not a ton of space, and if you do, it's like microwave food. But I think a microwave is pretty essential. I mean, I am constantly heating up my coffee. You can heat up like the mac and cheese things and the microwave meals and other things like that. I think a microwave is pretty essential. And kind of to go along with that, just a very minimal, simple set of, I would like do silverware and plates and maybe bowls if you want to do like cereal and milk, but that's a little much to me. I had like 2 plates, I think like 2 bowls, and then 2 forks, 2 spoons, 2 knives. And me and my roommate shared them, and we would just wash them in the bathroom, but we didn't use them like a whole lot. Sometimes I would bring things back from the dining hall and want to use like a plate instead of like a plastic container that it came in. Or occasionally, like, I think I had like the mac and cheese things and I needed a spoon with it, stuff like that. Plastic you're gonna end up throwing away, it's gonna be a hassle. I just had like a little soap bottle that I bought from the Dollar Tree, and I kept a sponge with it and I cleaned it off, and it was really simple. So, but I wouldn't go out and buy a full set your freshman year in a dorm room unless you think you're gonna be like, unless you have some sort of like food allergy or something where you think you're gonna be preparing food. but you can't have a lot of electronic food appliances in your room anyways, so next is a printer, and this is something that I wrote maybe next to on my list, and this is something that's really up to you. I think for a lot of these things that I'm going to talk about, you could probably move into your dorm and then decide if you want them. And depending on your living situation anyways, like if you're moving cross country, that would be perfect anyways because you're not buying it. My university didn't allow us to ship things earlier. Luckily, I don't live super far away. Like it's just a few hours away, so I could drive. But check with your university or go to your university, like start school, and then if you need it, then buy it and keep that money, like, you know what I mean? So, printer. My freshman year, I did not need it. I had a printer that was super close, and I could just go and print things out on my way to class. My sophomore, junior, and then now going into my senior year, the printer is fairly far away, and it wasn't super easy to get to, so I decided that I needed a printer, but make sure that you can afford the ink and the paper that goes along with that. I know quite a few people that ended up either not being able to afford or just being too lazy or didn't want to purchase ink, and they had a printer that sat underneath their bed or just sat on their desk and kept like space that they could be using, and it was just a pain in the butt. So if you think you're gonna use it and you can afford it, then get it, but I don't know if it's like an absolute essential in my opinion. Because there are places on campus, like find out where there are. There's the library, there's printers in other places, like on our like student university center, there's printers in there, there's computer labs on campus, so many different places to print out things that I don't think it's absolutely essential. It just saves me time, so, but it does cost money. So my university gives us 500 print credits a year, I believe is what it is. And one print credit is one black and white sheet, or 5 credits was one colored sheet. So I never needed to, and then you could print more credits if you needed it, but I never ran out ever. So make your decisions wisely. Next is a extra blanket. I think this is absolutely essential. I've used it so much. The one that I bought like my sheet comforter set together, and then I bought a bigger size, so I bought a queen of a comfy fuzzy blanket, and in the winter time I would like snuggle up with it and use it on top of that. And then I've definitely brought it places, so like in the local movie theater there's a midnight movies, so I've brought it to the movie theaters and used it. I've used it as like a blanket for like a picnic. Like I've used my extra blanket so much. And then kind of going along with that, a fan. So also, this is again kind of like check with your university, see what it's going to be in your dorm room setting. But mine, there was heating in your rooms that you got to change, but there was no AC. I lived on the second floor my freshman year. I lived on the third floor my freshman year, second floor. My junior year, I lived on the third floor. Never, ever, ever, never again will I live on the third floor. That was so miserably hot. It was awful. It was in the apartments. We did have an elevator, which was nice, but the stairs, it was so hot. It was just awful. So then my third and going on fourth year, I'm living in the first floor. So much better, but a fan. I think a fan is absolutely essential. I bought a box fan that was relatively cheap. Like I think it was $20 at Walmart, and it kept my room so cool when you're moving in and when you're moving out. Those general times are when you're going to need the fan most. So for the first month or two that you're there, and the last 2 months or two that you're there, I personally like a fan to sleep at night, but it was so miserably hot when I first moved in, and then when it gets towards summertime, it was so miserably hot. So definitely I recommend a fan. So next thing on my list is a full-length mirror. So freshman year, we didn't have one of these in our room, like that was already built in, and my roommate ended up buying it because it was just, that's how it evened out with the things that we purchased for the room. And it was so nice because, and it was so awkward to go into the shared bathroom to go look at your outfit or whatever. Like, it was so awkward because like people were like showering and brushing their teeth, and such a pain. And then my sophomore, junior, and senior year apartments actually have them like installed in the wall, which is super nice. but we've used it in other places, like in the bathroom there wasn't a full-length mirror, stuff like that. So I think it's essential. I mean, you gotta see what you look like in the morning, you know? And then next is a foam mattress topper. Oh my goodness, I did not realize this was an essential freshman year. I didn't buy one freshman year, and I slept on the mattress, I don't know how, the whole year. And sophomore year, I ended up purchasing myself one. I was like, why not? And I have no idea how I survived freshman year. Like, I think I'm repeating myself, but seriously, no idea. I remember sophomore year, when I was moving out, I took off my mattress topper like a day or two before I moved out to pack it and to get it ready, and I could not fall asleep. I literally had to end up pulling it back out because there was no way I was falling asleep without it. So definitely recommend a foam mattress topper. And then kind of along the same lines with that, a backrest pillow. So in a freshman dorm room setting, there's not a ton of space. Really, like my sophomore year, there's like the couch in the living room and stuff like that, but there's not a ton of space to do your homework and to like chill. There was the desk with a chair, which the chair wasn't comfortable in my opinion, but I did do my homework there. But like to chill, you don't want to sit in that desk, at least I didn't anyways. You don't want to sit on the floor, like, so I found one of the backrest pillows super helpful to like lean back on and relax. I would watch TV and movies and such, so definitely recommend that. And then next on my list is a laundry hamper. And I think that everybody kind of realizes this is an essential, but the one thing that I think is super important to think about is finding a hamper that is easy to carry. Again, this could be something that you wait until you go to college and figure out what the dorm room setting is like before you purchase it, but knowing where your nearest laundry room is, and planning that for carrying your laundry hamper. So freshman year, I bought one that was super cute. It's one of the foldable ones, and it has like handles on it, but it's not a super sturdy one. And I had to carry it up a flight of stairs, and it was a pain in the butt. It was so hard to carry. Like the sides of it were kind of pokey, and like it wasn't sturdy. I was always afraid of the handles ripping, and sometimes I would end up like dragging it, and there were holes at the bottom of it. So I knew going into my sophomore year it was not going to work out. So I bought a heavier duty plastic one that I can carry, and that was really great. Luckily there was one, a laundry room on my floor, so it actually wasn't that bad. But think about what's easier to carry and not what's like cuter, or not even maybe the cheapest one, but like the mesh ones break, like, and then you'll have to repurchase it. Or the plastic one, I've now used it. I'll be going on my 3rd year, so just keep that in mind. My next 2 things are shower shoes and a shower caddy. So again, this is something that you could potentially go to college first and before you buy, as I'd anyways with my caddy. Shower shoes, I think, are absolutely essential. If you're sharing shower, freshman dorm rooms, they say that they clean them with like bleach and they clean them out, and I think ours were cleaned weekly, maybe daily. I honestly don't remember at this point, but even if, I mean, we shared a bathroom with I think close to 30 girls. I think it was 20 to 30 girls. It's a lot of feet. It's gross. And then I lived in an all-girls hall, so girls were constantly sneaking their boyfriends in, and they used the bathroom and the showers and such, which wasn't the worst, but like, oh, gross, germs. Get shower shoes. Please, just do it. And shower caddies. So I ended up buying one that was hanging, and I absolutely loved it. There wasn't a ton of hooks, so I actually like hung it and then I hung my towel on top of it. But I found that I loved that so much more than the shower caddy that had the handle and you held and girls just like put it on the floor of the bathroom. Again, germs, gross. I found that kind of gross, and then I felt like you had to kind of clean that one out more often, and I just didn't like that as much. So I had a hanging one. Personal preference, personally, my freshman dorm didn't allow you to keep your stuff in the bathroom. There was a different hall on campus that had these like little cubbies and you could keep it in there, so that was a little bit better. But again, that's kind of why I said, like, if you haven't been able to tour your dorm, or maybe if there's like an online kind of like tour or whatever, know your surroundings and know what you're like look at your space. Maybe if you can, before buying things, just so you're buying things that you know you're going to use and you're going to like, and you're not going to end up repurchasing. But if, like, a lot of people don't live in dorms all 4 years like I did, so if you move out, then it's only going to be a year. So keep that in mind with your future thoughts of where you think you might live. So my next thing along with shower is a wraparound towel or a robe. Personally, I never did this because I lived in a freshman dorm. I lived in an all-girls hall for my freshman dorm. So I didn't find this to be that big of a deal, and I wasn't too far from the bathroom. But some girls had these like wraparound towels that had Velcro on them. So you would just like wrap it around, Velcro it, and it stayed up, and it was great. Don't go out and buy one that's like super expensive, but like find one. Or a robe to like walk around the halls in, like from the bathroom to your room, just a little bit more coverage. Again, up to you. I personally didn't, but those were super helpful. Tip, I guess, is that we had random fire drills, and we have one once a term, and you never know when it's gonna be. And if you're in the shower, you gotta get out and go out, or you're gonna get a huge fine. Like, it's a fire drill, you gotta get out. And if it was a real fire, like, you would have to as well. But they were random times, and having a robe or wraparound towel, or if you even bring your clothes to the bathroom, like, at least until you know that fire drill's happened, so that way you have something to change into. It's really awkward, and there's like that one person that's like standing out there with a towel and like shampoo in their hair, and you feel so bad for them. So that is something to think about. Wraparound towel or robe, depending on where you're living, like who you're living with, if you're living in a co-ed dorm. One of my next things is a slipper or slides. I personally had slippers, and I used them all the time. There are so many times, I mean, you're like running out to go to the bathroom, and you had to like go and just go to the bathroom and come back. You're not gonna want to go barefoot, at least I didn't. And then also walking to the dining hall, I used my slippers all the time. I would go to the dining hall and just use those instead of regular shoes, because my dining hall was fairly close to my dorm, and I was able just to like walk out and walk down this pathway, and it was right there. And so slippers were super easy, and I could go run out and get like a midnight snack or like for breakfast or whatever. Slippers and slides, walking around the hallways, that is something that I really liked. Disinfecting wipes is my next thing. I think these are absolutely essential for a college dorm. You really don't want to have like a spray and like a rag and wiping around. Disinfecting wipes were super easy just to clean up like a quick spill or a mess or whatever, like even dust. I definitely think that you need them, like Clorox wipes or whatever. Super great. Then last but not least is an alarm clock or a visible clock. I found this absolutely 100% necessary. I don't know that I used the alarm clock my freshman year. I think I might have used my phone. But I had an alarm clock that had a digital watch on a digital clock, like that was always visible when I was in my room, for the fact of seeing the time. So in college, you're gonna lose track of time, and you can have your phone, or like I know that I have my Fitbit that like serves as a watch, but you're gonna be like running out of time. It's just, I feel like it's so great to like see a clock. Maybe this is just something that like I feel like, but I always have it in my room. I'm constantly like, what time is it? What time is it? And I like can look at it super quickly, and then I can be like, oh my gosh, I'm running late for class, or whatever it is. I just found this to be an absolutely essential thing to like always know or always be able to see what time it is. Again, I know we have phones and whatever, but it was just so like quick, and you could be like, oh my gosh, let me go run for class. So if that makes sense. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. I hope I didn't ramble too much. Again, I'm going to be doing a what not to bring to college, so I have a whole list here that I'm going to do that for as well. There are definitely some things that they tell you to bring that you do not bring, and hopefully this other video will help save you money. So thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe down below, and comment something that you think is essential to bring to college. So thank you for watching. Bye!